Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back. I know it's been a while. A lot of stuff been going on in life, but I'm back, and we got a new episode of Video Game Collectors on Call for you guys today. So today on the show, we've got a seller, he's a collector, he's a cool guy. We got Pixel and Plunder. Thanks for coming on, man. How's it going?
Good, dude. How are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
Good. Good, yeah. So I met Pixel and Plunder, or Chris Matt is what I used to know him by on his Whatnot shows, and I bought quite a few things from him. He's got some good variety of things to sell. So I want to talk a little bit today about how you got into selling and why you do that, some other details about that, and then I want to delve into your own personal collection because I know you are a collector and you've shown some of the stuff that you own personally as well from your personal collection. So let's start. When did you start selling and why, and just give me the backstory on that.
So I started selling man, probably about 5 years ago. So I had my best friend. He came in town, and my favorite game series of all time is Monster Hunting. So we were wanting to play Monster Hunter on the Wii U, and Marketplace. I found a Wii U, it had a bunch of games, and the console, like $200. And I was like, okay, let's go buy that, play our game. And when I bought it, I realized the games were worth about 200 on their own. So I sold the games. We broke even and kept the Wii U, and we got to play our Monster Hunter that weekend. And that one instance, like 5 years ago, is what set off the whole reselling thing for me for video games.
And did you start on, I don't know how long it's been around, but did you start on Whatnot? Did you go to eBay? What was your main method?
No, I've never done eBay. There's like the Facebook groups, video game Facebook groups where people buy and sell. I started out there, and then I found out about Whatnot, and I actually started Whatnot with like a $80,000 collection, and just hit the ground running and started building a community. And that's why I choose Whatnot over other platforms because you get to interact with the people that you're selling with, which is one of my favorite parts.
Okay, yeah, and so I don't sell myself, and so I don't want to bash any selling platforms or whatever. But why exactly do you like Whatnot better than like eBay or something? Is it because of the community? It's like a live selling kind of thing. And from a selling standpoint, are there less fees, or how's that work?
Yeah, so pretty much that there is less fees than eBay. So eBay's around 15%, and Whatnot is like close to 11%. But for me, it was more about having the community, getting to talk to people, like talking about our collections, showing the collections that we have, and that's why I chose Whatnot over eBay.
What's the most expensive item you've sold? What single item?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I've sold a few in the multiple thousands of dollars range. I had a Star Fox Super Nintendo set I sold for about $3,000. Um, I've had a lot of multi thousands that I can't remember would probably be the most expensive, but I sold Kuon for $2,000 on
Okay.
Whatnot. Chrono Trigger for $2,000. A
So
lot of high value stuff.
how do you get these items? Is this a secret of the trade and how you get these, or is there?
Yeah, it's I've got a lot of repeat people that come back. I post on some of these Facebook groups that I'm advertising that I'm buying collections, and pretty much travel all around the country, just
Wow.
going through and buying the collections.
Where's the furthest you've traveled for something?
As of right now, the furthest I've been would probably be northern Pennsylvania. I'm in
Okay.
Kentucky, so it's
Okay.
about 12 hours one way.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there an item that you're looking for that you haven't found, or is there an item out there that you're trying to work on getting and the deal's just not right for you?
Yeah, there's my holy grail item, which would be a Dance Dance Revolution arcade machine.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, looking for that right now.
That'd
More
be quite
more than any
large
game.
to transport. And is that for your personal collection, or do you
That's
plan
for
on
my
selling?
my
Yeah.
personal collection. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, I personally, when it comes to resellers, I want you to change my opinion because I have a very jaded opinion of resellers because there's a lot of guys, unlike yourself, who go on and they'll sell stuff, but they don't collect, right? So they just go on and they sell things to pretty much just make profit off of it, raise prices, do all that. So my understanding is that your purpose is that so you can use that money to buy things for your own collection. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, most part, yeah. Also like if I can get a little extra money to like take vacations when we can, and but most of that is like the reason I started was to to build my personal collection, and that's why I still resell. The main reason.
And do you how do you price things? Like when you're looking to see how you want to sell something, what price? How do you determine that?
So I use price charting as a base, but a lot of things, like especially for people in my community, I try to do deals on. Like anytime I can, if I got something for really cheap, I'll try to do like 20, 30% below price charting. Some items are higher, like more higher end. I pay a higher percent. So I do price charting or a little above depending on the condition. But whenever I can, I'm always trying to give everybody in my community a deal on any game I can.
And it's probably more likely that you'll get a deal. Let's say if you buy 5 or 6 games in a bundle, you're more likely to maybe discount that. Yeah. Do you have anything that you're trying to sell that's just been sitting there for a long time and you're not sure why it's not selling?
Hmm. That's a good question. I don't have too much that sits for too long, but right now I have a extreme green Toys R Us N64 in the box with a clean box, and I've had that for like 4 or 5 months now, and that hasn't
Okay.
sold.
So in that case, you just hold out with the same price, or are you going to lower the price, as the time goes on, or just try and
No,
sell it?
I drop it down a little bit. Like I'll start with my initial price, and then maybe after like a few weeks, I drop it down, and I keep dropping it down to like a bottom number where it's like, okay, I can't drop it any lower.
Uh-huh. So you have this name Pixel and Plunder. I want to know how that name came to be. Did you just come up with it on a whim one day, or is there meaning behind it of some kind?
Yeah, I think I just equated it to video games, like pixelated video games, and plunder, like you're going out and getting all the treasure in the video
Okay.
games, and yeah.
Okay. And you post content. So you sell on Whatnot, but you also have an Instagram that you post stuff. Do you have any other social media?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel too, Pick Some Plunder Games on YouTube. I haven't done, I'm kind of getting into the editing and I haven't posted much on there. I'm trying to decide which way I want to go with that channel. So I haven't posted much on there, but I'm really on the Instagram right now.
What kind of stuff do you post on Instagram?
Little reels, pictures of games. I post my collection pickups before I go to Whatnot. So people that follow me can see what's coming to Whatnot before it actually goes live.
And then what about YouTube? What you said you weren't kind of sure what direction you're going to go, but what's some stuff that if people went on there now that they would see?
They would see I picked up a Clay Fighters and made a video on that. I made a few short reels on a kiosk that I picked up and some video game histories and some like demo and playthroughs of games.
Okay. So I want to move along and kind of talk a little about you as a collector, because I know you also have a nice personal collection. So take me back. What's your first memory of video games? What's the first maybe console that you had, game you played?
The first, what I started with was PlayStation 1 and N64. Uh, like a core memory though, we would visit my uncle's house when we would come to Kentucky, and I remember sitting on his couch and playing the original Halo. The Halo, that's like why I got into Halo, and I was big into Halo in high school. And then my favorite game series of all time is Monster Hunter. By
I have
far,
never played Monster Hunter.
yeah, I've been playing it since I got it day one release actually in 2005. And my best friend, who's still my best friend now, he's been my best friend for like 25 years. We have played every Monster Hunter game together our entire life.
So Monster Hunter, again, I'm not familiar with it, but I think I know of it. Is that the one where you basically could put any disc in your system and it would read like a code on it and give you a monster based on what game or disc you put in?
No, that was actually you go in and you go into a lobby, online lobby with four people, and you just hunt different monsters and you
Okay.
kill them and like get their materials to make better weapons and armor.
Okay. I wonder what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. There was a game at some point that I remember you could do that. So if you guys know in the comments, let me know because that was a cool game. But okay, so Monster Hunter, favorite game of all time. It sounds like.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Definitely. Yeah.
So then, how did you? So you started with PS1 and N64, which is a little bit, I guess, later in terms of some of the more common retro stuff like Nintendo or Super Nintendo. How did you then get into Super Nintendo, Nintendo stuff, or do you?
No, actually, I really don't. I have so my second favorite game series would be Dragon Quest. So I have all the Dragon Warrior games for NES complete. But outside of that, I don't collect much NES. I don't collect much Super Nintendo. I've got a complete box Chrono Trigger for Super Nintendo just because it was rare and I love the game. Something I went back and played, never played when I was a kid. But I don't really collect much NES and Super Nintendo.
Okay, so let's talk about what you do collect. So obviously PS1 and N64, I would assume, and then it sounds like looks like there's an Xbox behind you. So what kind of
But yeah,
consoles are you collecting for?
now my biggest one would be PlayStation 2. Um, PlayStation 2 would be the biggest one I'm going for right now. And the Wii U, I have every North American Wii U game, a Wii U GameStop kiosk, and every Wii U console complete box North American.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not met anyone that had a complete Wii U set. So that's I met an N60 no, yeah, N64, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, but I've not met a Wii U. That's kind of a niche kind of subset of collecting there. What's your since you have so many games on Wii U, what's the best game on Wii U?
Well, the reason that I got collecting, the reason that I fell in love with the Wii U was the Monster Hunter game on the Wii U is
Okay.
my favorite Monster Hunter game in the series,
Okay.
and that got me on the console and collecting for the console.
Okay. And then, like I said, I see some Xbox behind you. So many Xbox games or just the consoles there?
Yeah, I just got a few complete consoles. We got that OG Xbox right there. We've got our
Yeah.
Halo Edition Xbox a little further down the bookshelf. But mainly it's just like the Gears, the Halo, a few niche games that I played when I was a kid. My
Okay.
Xbox collection is pretty small, but my PS2 is definitely my biggest collection in my collection right now.
Do you have a count of how many games you have total?
It's about I think it's 855 is what it's at right now for just games.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. That's not bad. And the most
Yeah.
of those would be on PS2, you said?
Yeah, PS2. It's a mix of everything, but a lot of them are PS2. Yeah, probably
I feel
half, a
like
little more than half.
PS2, I think, had one of the largest um, libraries of any system. So I think there's probably like 1,700 PS2. I don't know. You might know better than I do, but I think there's like 1,700 PS2 games, whereas Nintendo 64 there's like maybe
It's
between
like
3 and 400.
250. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
small.
Okay, let's go the opposite direction, and I want you to tell me the worst game you've ever played.
The worst game I ever played.
Yeah,
Man, that's a tough one. The worst game I've ever played.
yeah.
I hated. Um, so I didn't play much of the later Zelda games, but I actually hated Wind Waker when I played Wind
Okay,
Waker.
okay.
Absolutely hated it. Not just the graphics, but the gameplay, the mechanics. I'll probably get a lot of hate in the comments for
Yeah,
that. And yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, people
There's a lot
love
of
Wind
people that
Waker.
love Zelda. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Twilight Princess. Love Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, and Jorah's Mask, but I hated Wind Waker. Just couldn't do it. Couldn't get into it.
So that's kind of like a hot take, I suppose, on gaming. Mine has always been
Definitely,
that
yeah.
Super Mario 64 is not the best Mario game, and I think everyone loves that game, thinks it's the best Mario, but
Yeah.
I don't know, wasn't super impressed with it. It's
I
definitely
actually
not the
agree.
best
I
Mario.
love Sunshine. Sunshine is like one of my top Mario games. Sunshine
Mine
and
is
Galaxy.
Mine is Super Mario Brothers 3 for NES. That's the best one. Just the
Yeah,
way, just for the time and when it came out, or Super Mario World. That one's a good one too. Which I saw. Speaking of Super Mario World, that you have a complete in box Super Mario World that
I
you picked
did.
up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I just picked that up like a few days ago. Yeah.
yeah, very good. What's your favorite console of all time?
My favorite console of all time. The nostalgia factor. If I'm doing nostalgia, it would be the Wii U or the PS2. So the library on the Wii U is really small. It's in that 250 range. And so, but if I'm going like based on the console with the games, I'd have to pick the PS2 over the Wii U.
Yeah, there's so many good games on PS2, and there's so many to choose from.
Yeah.
Wii U was innovative with its controller, the way the gamepad worked and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you play any modern games like Switch, PS5, Xbox
Yeah,
One X?
I'll play on my PC. I was like really big into MMOs for a while. So I still play RuneScape sometimes, old school RuneScape. I
I haven't
like
played RuneScape or heard about RuneScape in like 20 years. Used to
oh
play that
yeah,
in high
dude.
school all the time. So
Yeah. On my account right now, I think I have 2,955 days of in-game playtime.
wow, what is that? That's almost like 10. It's like 9 years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. On my main account that I've had since
And
original RuneScape.
are you maxed out on everything
Oh yeah, I've been
level
maxed
wise?
out. Yeah, I've been maxed out for a while, yeah.
I remember the big thing in RuneScape back in the day was everyone wanted party hats. Is that still a
But
thing?
yeah. Yeah.
Are those still going for like tons of money?
So there's a RuneScape 3, which is the new version of RuneScape. So on there, they're worth a lot of money. And old school is there. They took a 2007 version of the game. They found like the file, and they started up a different RuneScape called Old School RuneScape, and it's 2007 RuneScape, and it's their most popular version of RuneScape, and that's the version most people play now.
So is it like better graphics and more to do and stuff, bigger
No,
world?
it's like
Oh,
the old graphics, like
okay.
2007, like when you played in high school.
Yeah,
RuneScape 3
yeah.
is like the new graphics that everybody hates.
So does your character carry over from the old school RuneScape to RuneScape 3, or you have a completely new character in RuneScape 3?
It carried over when they first did RuneScape 3, but now on the old school, you have to start and make a new character.
Okay.
Start from
Yeah.
scratch.
Man, I wonder. I'm sure my character doesn't even exist. I wouldn't even know how to log into it. But I had so much like good. I wasn't maxed out on my levels, but I had a few 99s and I had a lot of gold. Or is that what it was? It gold? What did they have in
Yeah.
that? Yeah,
GP. Yeah.
GP. Yeah, GP. I guess it was like was it gold, bronze, silver, bronze, like the levels of armor you could get, and then the
Yeah.
ultimate
Adamant,
armor.
Mithril, Rune. Yep.
Dragon armor, I think, was the top,
Drag.
right?
Yeah. Dragon was the top back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. I think I had like a dragon crest or chest or whatever. So that's cool. No, I haven't. Man, RuneScape that brings it back definitely. So
No, it's
it's
good
good to see
times.
people are it's good to see people are still playing it. So what's your favorite? So we've talked about a lot of single player games, right? So
Mhm.
what's your
Yeah.
favorite multiplayer game? And I guess Monster Hunter you say is because I've never played it
Yeah.
is multiplayer.
Yeah. Monster Hunter would be the favorite multiplayer for sure if we're counting that. Um, Multiplayer online though, that one's tough. I played a lot of the shooters growing up, just like everybody did. Call of Duty,
Hmm.
Halo, everything back then. But I don't play as much multi now. Like I play a few things on PS5, like JRPGs, stuff like that. But yeah, I just don't do as much then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's funny because we were talking about back in high school, and I recently learned that high schools are now having esports teams where you have like, and I was like, that was never when I was in high school, and I don't know how old you are or what our age difference is or whatnot, but is that something? Did they have that when you were in school? Like, did they have esports teams?
no, I'm 34, so
Okay, okay,
no, definitely didn't have that growing up. That would have been awesome. But I know like the Fortnite, Overwatch, like those were big for esports now. But
yeah.
no, that wasn't around when I was in high school.
They're actually, yeah, my high school is actually going to the state finals for League of Legends, which I didn't even know they had that
Yeah.
on esports. So I was reading about they have Mario Kart, they have League of Legends, they have Smash Brothers, they have a couple other ones. I'm surprised they didn't have Halo, but I guess Halo's kind of lost its sort of
Oh, Halo's died
interest.
out. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, but I did actually. So I met the guy that does the voices. I went to a game conference and met the guy that does the voice for Halo, all the sound effects like double kill, triple kill, and he's a pretty cool guy. Have you ever went to any conventions, conferences? Have you sold stuff at conventions?
Yeah, so I did my first convention actually about a month ago. It's called Louisville Arcade Expo here in Louisville, Kentucky, and
Okay.
so I did that one. Got to meet a bunch of people. A few guys I knew locally showed up. It was more of a arcade expo, so it wasn't like a video game convention. But there's also one up in Ohio called Torg. That's a much bigger one, and that is just a video game convention. I didn't been there, but I go there every year to buy and
Yeah.
sell.
A lot of people talk about SEGC, Southeast
But
Gaming
yeah, I'm
Convention.
actually going there this year. Yeah, we'll be going to Southeast.
Yeah, I think that's
Yep.
South. Is that in South Carolina? I
Yeah, I
think.
think it's South or North. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another one. The Portland Retro Gaming Expo is a big one that people talk about.
Yeah, I'd love to go there, but that'd be a trip.
Yeah. Do you find that you make more sales there, or you make more just doing whatnot?
Whatnot for sure. Yeah, whatnot is like the amount of sales per hour. People are coming just to look at your games. They know like the kind of quality of games that I have, and they're coming in to buy certain things. So it's much
And
better than
that's a lot of effort too, right? For you to get all your stuff, pack it up, take it
yeah.
somewhere, set it up, do all this, stand around for maybe 6 hours, seven,
Mhm.
8 hours, and so
Yeah.
that's time and work. So, well, that's good. What about let's talk about some stuff in your collection, your personal collection. Tell me what would you say? I know you said you're after something for a holy grail in the DDR dance machine, but what do you have now that you consider your current grail of like items that you own?
I've got a few. I've got multiple high-end items, but something that I have right here. This is my favorite complete in box Game Boy system that I own, and we have the Pikachu Game Boy Color complete in box.
Okay.
And that, I mean, they killed it with the box art on that one. That one is just super nice. One of my favorite Game Boys in the box
So
for
the
sure.
so Pokemon Yellow is included inside in that as well.
Yeah, Pokemon
Okay.
Yellow is included. Usually they put it right in the Game Boy. It's got all the manuals. Yeah, this box is really nice. Definitely one of my favorite handhelds that I have in my collection.
I never got into handhelds. I'll be honest with you. That's something that growing up I never played. I was all console gaming. Did you get into handhelds a lot?
But yeah, my dad traveled for work, and he had gone to Japan right when the original PSP had come out. And before they came out in the States, he had brought us, me and my brother, a PSP with Ridge Racer, like 5 months before anybody in the States got a PSP. And I love PSP. I love the 3DS. Yeah, handhelds have always been big for me growing up. I pretty much
What's
had one.
what's your favorite handheld console then?
See, it's tough. That's tough. So Monster Hunter was on both. So I have a lot of nostalgia for both because I played Monster Hunter on the 3DS and PSP. I would probably have to say the PSP over the 3DS.
Okay.
They both have great game libraries. They're both great systems. If I had to pick a PSP though, it would be the Vita. Definitely go with the Vita over any
Okay.
other form.
Because they also played like you could buy movies to play in
Oh
those,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
So
movies.
yeah. Okay. What about your favorite um, handheld game? I guess game that was on a handheld console. Are you a
I
big
would
Pokemon
definitely.
guy?
Yeah, actually, so I played first and second and third gen, and then past that, I didn't really play. I didn't really play like past Sapphire and Ruby and Emerald and Crystal. Those are like the end of where I really my Pokemon era.
Hmm.
Um, Outside of the Monster Hunter on the handheld, my favorite PSP game would be Ape Escape for the PSP.
Oh, okay. I played that on PlayStation. I assume it's pretty similar.
Yeah, it
So
is similar. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Not to change topics suddenly, but I just remember. I think the game I'm thinking of instead of Monster Hunter is actually Monster Rancher. Is that a
But
game?
yeah,
Does that sound?
yeah, Monster
Yeah.
Rancher. Yeah, I've got that on
Yes.
PS2. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the one where you put a disc in and it like reads it and gives you a monster based on. Yeah, okay, cool. If I'm right, let me know in the comments. Hopefully you're still watching because that was a while ago we were talking about that. But let's talk about what's your favorite item in your collection.
My favorite item. I've got a few things here. This item is really unique. So Dragon Quest outside of Monster Hunter is one of the biggest parts of my collection, and this is the Dragon Quest Slime Switch controller. This is a controller for Switch. It's the
Is
little
that a
slime.
is that a character from the game?
Yeah, it's one of the little slime monsters from Dragon Quest, and it's a
Okay.
controller. I actually have the PS2 one also, but this one is a little more rare than the PS2. I think this is worth around 350 bucks for this
So
controller.
how I'm looking at that. How do you
Yeah.
use that as a controller? What
So
like
basically, you flip it upside down here, and you've got your triggers and your buttons on the back side,
okay.
and you hold it upside down. It's
Yeah.
it's awkward, but it's really awesome.
It's like yeah, some of these controllers that come out are really cool to have and look at, but
Yeah,
practically like using them is a pain. So like the Resident Evil chainsaw controller comes to mind. Like that one, if you're trying to play with that, impossible. And then there's some other controllers that come to mind too. But um, do you have any like what's something that you might have? And maybe the answer is no. But do you have something that maybe people haven't seen before, or that's
uh,
pretty rare?
oh yeah. See right here, we have the Wii Fishing Resort controller bundle with the fishing rod.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah, Fishing Resort. It's a pretty uncommon game by Xseed. Xseed is like they make unique games. The game goes for like 100 bucks, and then with the box in the game, it's around 200, 250 for
Okay.
the whole controller bundle. And you put your controller in there, and it's like a RPG JRPG fishing game. You go out
Cool.
on the boat. You're like in this resort town. You catch different fish. It's one of my favorite games actually on the Wii.
The Wii actually had a lot of cool accessories for it in terms of, you put your controller in. So, in fact, Nintendo in general just has always come out with really cool accessories. I saw a
Yeah,
video the other day about if you like to fish,
yeah.
there's like a sonar thing you put in your Game Boy and then you toss the other
Oh yeah,
plate thing underwater
yeah,
and it'll tell you where the fish are on your Game Boy screen, which is kind of cool.
yeah.
Nintendo had I think for Nintendo 64, there was a heartbeat sensor or something.
I haven't seen that. I haven't
Yeah,
seen that
yeah,
one.
that was on one of my episodes with shoot, I forget their name, but they're over in Europe, and they have like a video game sort of museum almost, where they have all kinds of weird collectibles and things. And it only works, I think, if I remember correctly, it only works with one game, which is Tetris.
To like
And
measure
they
your heartbeat while you're playing Tetris.
Yeah, yeah, and they said
Yeah,
I asked them they don't really know. I don't think they ever used it, and
yeah.
so I was just trying to figure out how it worked. And I'm guessing maybe if your heartbeat goes up, the music goes faster or something. I don't know, but it'd be interesting to
Huh.
check that out.
I guess Tetris is a blood pumping game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What else do you have to show us there? You got anything else?
Yeah, so one of my favorite PS2 game series of all time, and one of my favorite animes growing up, was the Dot Hack games.
Okay.
So we've got all four of the Infection series Dot Hack games.
Are those what kind of games? I've never played Dot Hack either. Are they RPGs or?
Yeah, they're JRPGs.
Okay.
You're basically in like a video game world. You're like a character in a video game world, and these games are pretty sought after, pretty
Like
valuable. The
like
final,
Wreck It Ralph, huh?
yeah, yeah. The final game in the series is worth it's close to $400
Okay.
for the final game in the series.
So you showed a lot of games and stuff. Do you have? I haven't, and I somewhat like this, but we'll see if the answer changes. You don't have many sealed games or any graded games in your personal collection, do you?
No, the only sealed game. I have a few random sealed PS2. I have a Monster Hunter sealed PS2 just because that's my favorite, one of my
Yeah.
favorite Monster games. But I do not do graded. I don't like graded. I don't like the whole graded part of the community. I
Okay.
get what's behind it. It's just it's not for me, and I don't want to sell my community graded games because I don't. I think it's really niche, and like if you're gonna pay $800 for a game that is like $50 complete or $100 sealed, but it goes up to $800 graded. I just don't think it's for most people. It's not worth it. So I just don't even. I
But
don't
here,
grade or any of that.
but here's what also happens too. Like, let's say you have that Kuon, right? Let's say you have that Kuon, and let's say, for sake of argument, there's 5 copies of Kuon in existence, right? Let's say someone, yeah, right there. So
Yeah,
let's say someone takes one of those 5 copies, puts it in a plastic case so that you can never
yeah,
get it out and play it. So now there's
yeah.
only 4 copies available for the people who want to play it, and it just bothers me that that happens. Now, occasionally, I think in terms of, I have a couple graded games that I purchased because I wanted to make sure they were authentic. But
Yeah.
then in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, who am I trusting with the authenticity of this? Like, who are these people that are grading these and saying they're authentic?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
when I first started collecting, I think I have like 5 graded games, and so I stopped after that because I was like, man, what am I doing? This doesn't necessarily mean they're authentic just because some person somewhere said they are. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's definitely true. And it's not for me. I'm not bashing anybody who does graded. Some people specialize in that. Some people only do graded. Games, I think people have had a hard time realizing that games, they've become something that's collectible. And so there's a lot of people that have problems with resellers. They have problems with the values of games. And I get all that. But the grading is really proof that we've gone into like a collectible era for these games. They're not just to like get cheap and play anymore. They're like people are putting them on their shelves and never touching them.
And it's one thing, right? If it's one thing to grade like maybe a sealed Super Mario Brothers. It's like the first original game for Nintendo, but it's another thing if you're grading like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on PS2, right? It's like
Yeah,
what even is the point? Or like a Switch game that just came out like last year and it's already graded. It's like what are
yeah,
we doing, right?
no,
And if anyone is watching and has a different opinion of graded games, that's great. You can have your own opinion, but I'm on the same page as you. I just don't think it's a good thing for the community or the just collecting in a sense. So, anything else you got hanging out next to you there?
But yeah, we got a few more things. So I'll show you
Okay.
two.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's keep it going.
We got our Monster Hunter Tri. This is the big box version with the controller bundle for Monster Hunter Tri. Also, probably my next to the fishing resort game. This would be my favorite Wii game. And
So I saw on that box Capcom. So Capcom is the one that makes Monster Hunter. Is that
Capcom, yeah, Capcom makes Monster Hunter. Yep.
then it's definitely got to be a good game. I mean, Capcom has made some real bangers for in
But yeah,
terms of whatever they make just comes out. It's gold. So
yeah. I mean, and I think Monster Hunter is actually their biggest. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think it's their biggest grossing series out of any other games, more than
more
Resident
than
Evil or
Resident
anything
Evil,
else.
really?
More than Resident Evil.
I would have thought Resident Evil. Okay.
Yeah. And then we've got one of our special edition Monster Hunter 3DS consoles.
Okay. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, there's a few of them. This is just one of them I have. The silver is my favorite. I like the box art on it too.
Hmm.
They've gone up in price a lot. They used to be like around $300. Now they're around 600, 700,
Okay.
somewhere around there. And then
Okay.
something else that I picked up in this new collection recently that's actually going in my personal. We have a original blue DS that is a Super Mario 64 game variant. And this is actually a really, really hard to find DS variant for this box.
So it comes with a game that is not the normal Super Mario. Is that what you're?
It comes with the normal Super Mario, but it has a not for. It's like a not for resale sticker on the back
Oh,
for
okay.
because it's bundled with the console, and then
Okay.
it has all the Super Mario manuals in the box with the DS.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Nice. Is that all of your items you brought to show? We can keep
yeah, that's
going.
pretty.
Whatever you got. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff. This is what I
Yeah.
have next to me, and I kind of showed this earlier, but obviously
The Kuon.
we have the Kuon for PS2. So I've in the last few years I've sold. I mean, so many games I couldn't even tell you how much I've sold. I on Marketplace I put up these like when PS5s first came out. I would put a PS5 up to trade for retro games. So I would get one when I could, and then trade it for retro games. And a guy reached out, and he lived 20 minutes from me, and he had Kuon and the Zelda edition Wii U and a bunch of Wii U games. So I ended up trading him a PS5, and it was like $500 for all that stuff.
Wow.
And at the time, I sold that Kuon because I didn't really care about keeping it, and that was the only game that I've ever sold that I had like major regret about selling. And I finally got another copy for myself a few months ago.
Yeah, Kuon, it's one of those games. I love survival horror games and I want to play it. I'd like to get
Yeah,
a copy of it, but I just
it's
don't know if I can toss 2 grand at one game for PS2.
yeah,
So
it's a terrible game. It's awful.
is
It's
it?
not as bad as Rule of Rose. Like Rule of Rose is horrible, but like I would
I
give
didn't
it a solid 4.5 out of
I
10.
didn't I didn't mind Rule of Rose too much. We played through it on my stream. I never
Yeah,
beat it. I made it kind of close to the end, but
yeah,
it's an interesting game. It was definitely not on my top 5 worst games of all time though, but as a
yeah.
survival horror game goes, it was decent.
Yeah, yeah. Kuon is not bad. I would definitely say it's like a 4.5, maybe 5 out of 10.
Okay.
It's playable. It's not terrible, but definitely like you're not buying it to play it. You're buying it because it's like a collector piece.
Right.
And I don't, and usually, like I said, this is a collector's hobby. It's becoming more of a collector's hobby. And usually I would say that these games that are worth like two, three, four, $500, most of the time they're not worth like the money that you're paying for the playability.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like Dot Hack here, this being a $400 game, this is one of the few exceptions that I would say that I would play 400. I would pay $400 if I could not emulate that, and I didn't care about collecting. I would pay the $400 to play that game. That game is so good.
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
mentioned emulation and a lot of people I think that's a good option for some of these games that are really expensive that you want to play, but I also think there's something to say about having a physical copy of a game, being able to pull it off the shelves. I think I had a stream last night and we were just talking about this, how it's like having your own library of games. You can just go over, pull one off the shelf, go play it, as opposed to going on a computer screen and pulling one up or scrolling. And I think that maybe that's different now because kids growing up buy everything digitally. But
There's so I think emulating on the computer, that's a big like if you want to do that, if you want to play it where it's smoother, like it looks a little nicer, to like go for it. But if you're gonna emulate, like I would buy the EverDrive for 64 so I could play on the console and I could use the hardware, or I would use a modded PS2 with the memory stick to play the games, or a modded PS3. Like if I'm
yeah,
emulating, it's gonna be on the original console. I don't like I think when you're emulating on the PC, it's like a whole different thing than actually playing the game how it was originally meant to be played.
yeah, and so I do want to touch on that too with PC games. So I PC games, like I never really got into it. I've played a few here and there, and I do have some games that I play on PC. But uh, the one thing that I've noticed lately too that bugs me about PC gamers is, so I'm a big Resident Evil fan. Resident Evil 9, has recently come out, and people are quote speed running it, right? But what they're doing is they're hacking it or modding it so that they're skipping entire levels of the game. And to me, that's not a speed run, right? You got to speed run, you should play through the entire game as opposed to skipping parts of the game, right? So it's just silly. Speed run to me is like pick up your controller, plug it in, start playing, and just go straight through. Like don't mod, don't change anything. But kids these days, man, I don't know.
Nah. Now it's like that's definitely like a competition type thing. So
Yeah.
I had another YouTube channel a few years ago. When Monster Hunter World came out, I was posting speed runs. So like you go on a quest and you fight a certain monster, and you would kill it as fast as you can. And people post their times, and there was official websites for
Okay.
doing these speed runs. And so I did that for like 2 years, and I had the most world records for all the monsters. I was on number one of this leaderboard for like a year before somebody knocked me off. But I love speedrunning in that sense, but like the little hacks and glitches people do, like in Super Mario 64, where they like go backwards up the staircase and like go
Yeah.
through the wall and get to Bowser, and like yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool to see, but
It's not
you
really
know,
speed running, right? You're kind of
now
just skipping past
you're
the whole game.
yeah, you're glitching through stuff. Yeah.
Shout out to Grant who plays games, who's been on the show before. He's a speed runner and he does it the old fashioned way. Some of his stuff's pretty good. Is there a game that you are currently playing through right now, like maybe a single player game, or is there a multiplayer game you play a lot of right now?
Yeah, so I'm actually playing through all the Ape Escapes right now.
Okay.
Working my way. I'm on Ape Escape 2 on PS2. Well, there was, I don't know if you heard, it was pretty big in the community. There was an MMO called Ashes of Creation.
Mm-mm.
So it's a really big Kickstarter MMO. And basically what happened is they released this MMO early. Everybody paid like $50. Everybody was playing. They shut down the servers in 2 months and went bankrupt. And like nobody got refunds. They were developing this MMO for like 8 years, and I had put like 100 hours, like in a few weeks, into that game, and then they shut down the servers. That was the last multiplayer game I was playing.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's kind of painful. That's like when your memory card gets corrupt or something, you can't load your save data, or like when you've made it so far in a game and you forgot to save, and then you're like you
Yeah,
restart all the way back. So yeah.
yeah. There's a thing in the MMO community where like people are kind of phasing out of MMOs outside of like the big ones like World of Warcraft and RuneScape, and people are looking for that like hit of that old school MMO that they
Mm,
used to play when they were kids. And Ash of the Creation was a really nostalgic feeling MMO that a lot of people got into, and it's unfortunate it closed down. So I think MMOs unfortunately are kind of a dying breed. The
really.
gaming industry is moving away from them. They're expensive to make, expensive to run. So I think we're going to see less and less of those over the next few years, unfortunately.
Yeah. And you mentioned Ape Escape as well. So I didn't know there were that many Ape Escape games. How many are there?
So North American, you got one on PS1, you have two and three, and you have Pumped and Primed on PS2, and then you have Escape on PSP. That's
Okay.
all we got in
So
North
is that
America.
five or six? I think you
Five,
named.
yeah, five
Yeah.
total, and then Japan got a few more. There's like a few more Escape PSP games. They had a Escape racing game. Um, but Sony like dropped the ball with that one. They could have that could have been one of their biggest games if they had kept going with
You
Escape. That
think?
could have been like their oh yeah, that could have been one of their flagship characters. Yeah,
I mean, I think Crash Bandicoot should be reinvented and come back and give us some more games because I think that is their flagship character. You
yeah,
know?
Crash, Spyro, like the
Yeah.
monkeys from Ape Escape,
Yeah.
like the platformer too. It's like unfortunate because we grew up with the platformers and now they've kind of died off. Like people
They
don't make
have.
as much platformers. It's not popular anymore. It's not what the gaming industry is going towards. Just like with MMOs.
Yeah. No, definitely. So, any advice you have to people who want to sell, want to collect, want to do any of that sort of stuff in life?
Yeah, collecting is expensive. If you're gonna collect, the best way to do it is to try to sell. And if like even if you find like five games and you really want one game in your collection, pay that person 80% of the value. Pay them more than anybody else is gonna pay them, and then you break even and you keep that one game that you wanted for free and you've gotten your money back. I do this all the time with high end stuff for my collection. If somebody will offer them 60% and I'll offer them 80 just to get that one game sometimes. That's the best way to try to collect. Um, it's the only way to really collect for free. So
So you,
unfortunately,
so your opinion, this I have this discussion sometimes with people too. Do you think that games in general are on an upward trajectory of value, or do you think we'll kind of level off at some point in the next couple of years?
I think they went crazy after the COVID boom, and everything is a bubble. Pokemon cards, games, everything's some kind of bubble. Do I think it'll pop and crash? I don't. But I do think it'll level off. Some things will always go up. You'll have Kuon, your Pokemon games. Like there's some things that are just rare that are that high end collectible that they're always going to go up.
Yeah.
But I don't think everything's going to crash.
Yeah, yeah. No, I wish if, current day me could go back in time and talk to like, 15-year-old, 14-year-old me and say, "Hey man, keep all these games, like
I
don't
know.
sell them. They're going to be worth a lot of money." But it is an expensive hobby for sure, and I think it's only been getting more expensive. So the items you have in your own personal collection, are we talking like over the last 3 or 4 years you've collected all those? Do you have some stuff from back when you were younger that you kept in your collection as well? Is this a long term
Oh,
collection?
yeah. So I would say this is just most everything I have is just from in the last like 4 years when I've been buying collections and selling. The two games and I was actually going to ask you if you had had anything from your childhood. But the two games that I kept were Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I have my
Yeah.
original copy for the GameCube, and Dragon Quest 8 for PS2.
Okay. A lot of what I have originally is consoles. So I have my original PS2, my original Sega Genesis, my original Nintendo 64, my original PS1, Dreamcast, and GameCube console wise. And then for games, off the top of my head, I know there's probably more, but I know I have my original GoldenEye for Nintendo 64. I have my original Silent Hill for PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
I think I have my original Resident Evil games for PlayStation and for Nintendo 64, Resident Evil 2, and there's probably a few others. But yeah, I at one point, had gotten rid of those. I think we had like a garage sale or something when I
hmm
was in college, and we got rid of them all. And so definitely regret that.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine what I've traded into GameStop back in the day to get like the new Halo or the new Call of Duty or any other games.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, it's been great chatting, talking about games, talking about selling, collecting, seeing some cool stuff, learning about Monster Hunter, not to be confused with Monster Rancher. Um, and then, so let's go over it one more time, just in case people want to follow you, want to watch you. So, Pixel and Plunder, you're on Instagram and
Instagram and on YouTube.
and
Yep,
it's both
Pixel Plunder.
both under Pixel and Plunder, correct?
Both under Pixel Plunder. Yep.
And then, what are you under Whatnot? How can people find you on Whatnot?
You'll see me when you type in Chris Matt. I'll be the only Chris Matt that pops up on Whatnot.
And how often do you do shows on Whatnot?
Right now, I'm averaging about 3 to 4 times a week. It fluctuates. I've got a schedule posted up now, so I've got all my shows out for the next week or two. But
Okay.
yeah, it's usually 3 to 4. Sometimes it'll be one or two. But
So you don't have like no set time where you're like every Wednesday at 9 Eastern or something. It just depends.
no, what I'll do is I'll try to make my schedule like Sunday night. I'll try to plan out my schedule for the whole rest of the following week, like what nights I'm going to sell on what not and what times.
Hmm. Okay, very good. Well, again, man, thanks for coming in, guys. If you like to buy cool stuff, you like to get good deals on some games, some retro stuff, make sure you check out Pixel and Plunder or Chris Matt on Whatnot. I've definitely bought some things from him. But thanks for watching. Thanks for coming again, Pixel and Plunder. And guys, we'll see you next time. Hopefully, won't be as long of a break between episodes. I'm not gonna do scheduled episodes like I did previously. I'm just going to upload them randomly as I film them. But hopefully, if you know anyone that wants to be on the show or you yourself, send me a message. Let me know. Always cool to see new stuff. Always cool to see rare stuff. And yeah, hopefully I'll catch you guys next time. So thanks for watching.
Thanks.